the idea of the voice itself became more and more an interesting subject for us to explore, specifically the relationship between the voice as a semiotic device through which language we can communicate and articulate complex thoughts, to the voice as something that exceeds language, that could be pre-linguistic, how sounds themselves can have a meaning that can exist outside of language.
Well, this piece came about in the middle of another project that we were making for the Autumn Festival in Paris in 2009. For that, we made a film that's called Apotome, which is a film that centers around these bone remains of these elephants that were brought to Paris during the French Revolution, and in which a concert was given to them in 1798 to see if human music could be a form of interspecies communication. And when we were doing research about that film, we were looking into the list of songs that were being performed to the elephants, and among other pieces of music, it specified that there was a piece by Haydn. And so at that time, we then started researching what music Haydn would have been making around that time. And it turns out in that same year is when he made The Creation. And then once we started to, really dive into the subject matter of the oratorio, we learned that it was based not only on the book of Genesis, but also on John Milton's Paradise Lost, which is a really fascinating historical piece of literature that focuses specifically on the moment of the fall of man and the creation, but centered on that question of the original sin.
Something that we did as a point of departure is that in Haydn's The Creation, the fall of man is only mentioned briefly and is at the end. So we wanted to start with the fall of man. It's basically the beginning of the work. And then we get to a point in which we start to describe the elements and the land, the water, animals, man appears. And then we're getting to the point of getting to this unattainable place to only at that point go in reverse, which is the ending of the work.
I'm using musical sources from actually many different places. So in this work you have singing techniques which are from like Buddhist chanting, or from Tibetan music, or the so-called overtone singing. So there's actually a lot of non-classical or non-new music sources within the music. But further, in this work, because working with these singers, who are such fantastic singers, most of them are opera singers, I really wanted to make a range of vocal feeling which covers everything from like early music, like Renaissance music or Monteverdi, to grand opera, to very, very contemporary sounding music. And each of those elements then could be a different kind of door or window in which certain audience could walk through.